What's going on, YouTube? Let's talk about indie developers. And I'm a fan of indie games. I love to check out the games on Steam, on PC, and other consoles and stuff. But you guys know I'm working on my own game. I'm working on a football game called Legend Bowl. And I'm really trying to wrap the game up for its first release. But the problem is that the game is huge. Games take forever. There's a lot to do, and scope creep and having features, added or taken away, or just finishing them is really difficult. And so I'm going to show you guys a company that I've been watching. They're an indie developer out there. I forget what their name. It's like Game Fire Emblem or something like that. I'll show you guys in a little bit. But in this, this is their little trailer here from their Steam page, and it's a racing game. I thought it was pretty cool. I like sports games. I like to, check out all sorts of indie titles, and this is one that I've been keeping an eye on. And this is a demo that they had for some convention that they did, and so this is just some of the footage. But they've been talking about releasing at the end of this quarter, so Q4 2020, right? But yesterday, I think it was, Original Fire Games. So I hacked that all up. But basically, they came out with a demo yesterday, which I'm going to show you guys right here. They came out with this demo, and they're basically sharing with the fans that the game is now delayed, basically delayed until 2021. So Q1 of 2021, as you can maybe see here. But this is the article that came out on their Steam page. And what they did is they took the demo that they had from some pre-alpha build, and they went ahead and opened it up to us gamers, right? So we have the ability now to check out the game. So I thought that was a pretty interesting move, because what they're trying to do here is they're trying to, number one, they're lengthening the time that it's going to take to release the game, but they're also giving fans something to play around with. And just to kind of relate that to what I'm doing with Legend Bowl, so I've gotten the gameplay pretty much working on the field. It's not 100%. There's some things I still need to do, like add injuries on the field and, some various little bugs that come up and, tweak the gameplay. There's all sorts of things. It's never going to end. Any football game out there that's being made, the amount of work that it takes to make it perfect is endless. So it's never going to be done, but I have to call it finished at some point so that I can release it, try to start making some money on it, try to get some feedback on it, and improve the game and make it better and add more features, etc. But the problem that I've had is early access on Steam is a bit of a question mark. Because early access on Steam could mean that your game is just a prototype and it's never going to get done, which is part of the problem with early access. A lot of those games, they basically are just landing like fill. They're like these, I guess, like wastelands of prototype games. And what that means is that you have a lot of garbage out there. Right. And there are a lot of games that basically will eat up the library of games in there, and then people won't take them seriously. And it gives them a bad image. It gives them a bad, just a bad perception from people. So when you go to early access, you have to deal with that image, that negative image of your game not being a real game. And those games aren't necessarily finished. That's the point of going to early access. You're trying to get people to, number one, to find out about your game, but you're also trying to give people the opportunity to give you feedback on your game. But there's also a negative stigma with early access. So you have to be careful. On top of that, when you release your game, all the wish lists that I think went towards the early access purchases, or the wish list that went towards your final game's release, those people that have actually bought the game, those wish lists go away. So it really dilutes the amount of like SEO search visibility that you have and strength of your game to be found on Steam. because Steam is a huge ocean of games, and for anybody to even care about my game is almost next to nearly impossible to to hit that without a lot of money or some major players backing you. So here's the thing. So I was kind of curious because these guys are going, I thought they were releasing the game. They were supposed to release the game in 2020 on a multi-platform release, right? And they've not only delayed it until Q1 of 2021, but they're also delaying it and they're making it early access because they've realized that there are a lot more things that they need to get done with the game. And this is their first game, and early access is a way for them to, give people something and they can get feedback and they can make the game better, right? So this is their article about what what this demo is about and why they're choosing to do this. And I thought it was kind of interesting, and I figured I would kind of chat about it on my channel because for those of you who are following Legend Bowl and watch these videos, you obviously know this game's been basically in the works for it's been 3 years, but it's been about 2.5 years that I've been working on it. And it just takes a long time to work on games. If I was making a smaller game, like a mobile game or something very simple, it wouldn't be as long. But they still take time as well. And I'm just one person. So the bottom line is, like, I want to get this game out because I want to see how many people actually are going to support the game, because at some point you have to figure out, is this worth my time or not? And then on the other side of that, you also have to say to yourself, okay, you can't work on this forever. It's just, you can't afford to live and not make any money, right? Not make any revenue. So as a company, you can't, unless you're funded by some other outside source, you're dead in the water until you make some money. So I'm having those kind of internal discussions and thoughts and thinking of what to do. Okay. So with that said, I need to figure out a game plan. So with this game here, I thought it was interesting that they went to early access. So I say to myself, well, is early access a possible thing? So basically what I have in my game, like I said, I have the actual regular exhibition modes. I have kind of like a practice mode. I have a tutorial where you come in and do it. I have settings. I have a career mode that is like a 1-season mode, but I'm probably going to make it multiple seasons. At the very least, it's going to give you, the ability to track how many playoffs you made, how many championship games you've won, and every year will be a new schedule. At least, it'll change teams when you're playing. So that might be something I do. Another entire thing I have in the game is a huge amount of customization. That's a huge part of the game. It's one of the cornerstone like pillars of the game, and there's a lot of depth in the game because of that. In my opinion, it makes the game feel so much larger. I also need to get some logos done, and then I need to wrap this thing up into a bow and get this thing out the door, right? So I need to make sure that I have this thing to a point where I can release it. And releasing a game is not easy. And we're talking about just on Steam, on PC, right? So getting it on consoles, getting it on mobile, I know you guys want that to happen. And to be honest, that's just going to be out of my scope until I get the game out. I get some feedback. I make it as solid as I can make it. Then I'm going to port it over to the other consoles if everything's going well. A lot of people have asked me that question. So I'm going to jump in. Actually, I'm going to play a little bit of this game here just to kind of show you guys. I'm going to show you guys their demo here. So this is their demo. And all you can basically do is just take a look at the video settings, audio settings, and then basically play this one map, this one track. So I'm going to go ahead and pick this car, and you can also do local multiplayer. So there's that as well. But this is where they were at on whenever they did the alpha. They have more behind the scenes they claim that they've done, but this is where they're currently at. And this is their demo. So I thought to myself, like, for a company like this, they are three different siblings that are part of this company, and they also have some funding, right? And so they have they have time to make the game, and they also have more resources than I do. They're also part of this like incubator thing. I think I forget what the what the uh, what the affiliation is that they have, but they won some type of award that allows them to be part of this, funded thing that they're doing. So they have the game somewhat funded, right? And they're not ready to release this game. But the game it's got some pretty cool mechanics. I'm trying to play it right now. I'm on my controller right now, and I'm just messing around here. But they let you play this one track, and you can choose how many laps you want to go. You just go around the track in one of these two cars, and you can get a feel for how the game kind of controls the car and the mechanics and the way it kind of moves around, right? So, I think to myself, I say, okay, wait a second. I said, these guys are a 3-man team. They're also funded and backed by some organization. I forget who it was. It's one of these game engine companies, I think. And these guys are taking a long time to make this game. And so, sometimes you think to yourself, like you see people making games and you're like, man, how are they doing it so fast? How are they getting this done so quickly? Well, they either are cheating or not telling you the truth, or the game's not as deep as you think, or they have more resources than you know, or it's just a more complicated game. But either way, things just take time. And I say to myself, well, wait a second. The way that I'm kind of doing Legend Bowl right now, so I'm not going to hype it up to be some crazy game that it's not, like other companies would do. The game is pretty solid, but it still feels like it has a lot of, polish that it needs. I need to wrap it up. I need to get it out there. I want to make the career mode a little bit thicker and deeper. I want to add in, the ability to buy and sell facilities and manage the facilities in your organization so that when you buy something, it actually like helps or hurts your team, and then the whole entire list of things that can happen in a franchise mode, and then on the field stuff. I mean, there's so much that I can do with the game, but I also have to draw the line somewhere and get it out, like I mentioned a minute ago, right? And I wonder sometimes, is early access a possible solution for me? Is it a possible strategy for Legend Bowl? Because it does give you the ability to get people involved. It gives you some revenue because people that are accessing it through Steam, they have to pay for the game, right? And you can get feedback and you can make the game better and better and improve the game and go from there. So I think about, what if I went that route? And maybe I release a demo like this. I mean, well, if you're on early access, you don't even need the demo. I mean, this demo is free to the public, right? They're not in early access yet. So this demo is something that is outside of it, but it's a nice little thing that they did because they give people a chance to just play around with the game and fiddle with it. And maybe that's what I do with my game. Maybe I make a little demo, maybe I put it into early access, and then I start to give people access to the game. So that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. I am planning on trying to get this game out the door, but I also feel like, because I'm just one person, sometimes I just feel like I'm just trying to get whatever I can to just somehow like work and then get it out the door and get it to you guys, instead of really taking the time to refine everything, make sure it's 100% bug free, which nothing will ever be 100% bug free, but just really take the time to make it perfect, which would take, I'm telling you right now, it would take years. That's how much work it takes to do this stuff. That's why you don't see a lot of football games being released, and the ones that you see have been around for a long time in development, and they're also either very buggy or simple or have a lot of improvements to be made. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I just wanted to share this with you guys because I'd love to hear your feedback. If you want to jump on the Discord, on the Legend Bowl Discord, and you want to chat through there, let me know. But by no means is this a video saying that I've given up or I'm not going to release the game or, it's never going to get done. No, none of that. The game's probably going to get released. My plan is to release it by December of this year. But I also say to myself that these guys are doing it. They want to release a product on multiple platforms. They want to make the biggest splash possible when they release it. They want to get the most people on the game. They want to make the most buzz and the most noise so they can get the most major news outlet sources to represent and advertise their game. I mean, that's the goal. When you sell a game, when you release a game, you want to make the biggest splash possible so that everybody's all over it, and that momentum and that comprehensive like build of hype will help your game take the sales to the top level. So you can either go that route or you can go the slow route, which is put out a product, improve it, build the community as you go, eventually port it over to the consoles. And that was my strategy. That was going to be my strategy. But I don't know if that's the right strategy. So if you guys have any thoughts or any comments or, any ideas of what I should do, I'd love to hear them. Let me know in the comments down below or on Discord. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.